Construction Gamer, and this is Celtic City on City Skylines. This is going to be episode number 52 in the series, and in this episode we're going to be continuing with the Industries DLC theme. Just want to get one last factory in before we move on to something else. Now, in the last episode we built a quarry, so first proper big quarry that I've built, and I think by now we should be producing quite a lot of metals and quite a lot of ore, so we don't really need to worry about that. And what I was thinking is, as we've got so much metal available, that we can build a car factory, can we? Where is it? It's here somewhere. Car factory, food, car. So we can, it's quite expensive, but we have got 1.7 mil in the bank, so we don't need to worry too much, and obviously this will generate us yet more income. Now, I was looking for a location for it, and does it say? I don't think it says how many workers it needs. Water. No. Pollution, noise. Doesn't say how many workers it will generate. Let's see what the quarry's only level 3 at the minute, but we have already unlocked all of the requirements, production, yeah, so we're going to hit that in a minute. We've got all the workers on next level 400, we've already reached that, so we are about to reach level 4, but it's not hugely important. We're not importing, we don't need to import anything. I wouldn't think so too, especially with all the production, the resource producers there. I put in, since the last episode, I put in some trains, so I've got this rail yard here, which is a bit more like a materials handler one rather than a container one. It was being used quite frequently. Is it something coming in? No, it's going into the airport. But yeah, and I put in some sea defences. You might have seen that if you were watching the cinematic at the end of the last episode. I haven't got disasters installed, so it's not technically needed. I just thought it just looked right, I think, because we're so close to the this inlet here, in this bay, and then it goes straight into a quarry that could be flooded quite easily if there wasn't some sort of protection in place. So I've put that in there. I think it looks alright. And yeah, done a little bit more detailing, a couple of trees and things, and a couple more warehouses just to fill in this concrete area, which was a bit basic and bland. So yeah, the quarry is completely finished now. I've put this road in, which just is connected up to here. There's quite a bit of traffic. I could do with putting in a bridge or something at some point, but it's not. I think with the rail connection that we've got in, and with the port as well, which is being used, that the road connection is adequate for the minute. We've got workers coming in. Obviously they're probably going to have to drive because there's no rail connection. Can't really extend out the rail service, other than I wouldn't want to put a railway track down the middle. I don't think that'd look right, so I think we'll just have to leave it as it is. But as for the location of the factory, I want it actually within the city centre. I want some jobs closer to where a large portion of the population actually lives. So I think in this area here is relatively flat. Needs a bit of work just to flatten out a bit, but yeah, I want it nice and close to the city centre itself. I think having industries within close proximity to the city centre isn't unrealistic, and at the same time, like I say, it brings jobs in to the local area. We do have, obviously we've got the highway connection, which offers good transport, and we've also got the rail freight yard here as well, so steel, metals can arrive here by train, and then they come out here, and then what we're going to do is just put in a junction. I can't imagine this being too busy, but what I was thinking was that if we reverse that, no, we don't need to reverse that. Yeah, I'm not just going to build the car factory in here. I think I want to build some other things as well. I might just actually build some standard industry because we've got quite a large demand there. We've got industry demand is one of the largest demands we've got going on, so I think we can afford to have a bit of industry in there as well, just to fill the space out a little bit, make it look a bit more realistic. Have some industry buildings, and we are kind of over the motorway as well, so this is like, it's going to be a noisy area. So yeah, industry it is. We could fulfill that industry with offices, but we haven't, in this, other than doing what I'm doing now with the industries DLC, we haven't actually put any standard zoned industry in. So I'll make sure we've got a nice industrial area here. Well, I say nice, but a nice big industrial area. I think just want a little, not that big. Can I do 40? 40? No, I can do 60 or nothing. Right. No, it's not going to let me, is it? Is it? Probably should be using the roundabout tool by now, I guess. Still like doing it the old-fashioned way. So I think what we need, the car factory needs quite a bit actually, and I hope we've got enough. Needs plastics, we're generating plenty of plastics, glass, metals. Oh, that's quite a lot bigger than I thought. Right, okay, you can go on. Where can you go? Right, get rid of this. Didn't imagine it to be quite so large. Let's put that on there. Because what we want is, we always want the car factory to be on the kind of side of the road which is going out of the industrial area, and then on the side of the road where it's coming into the industrial area, this is where we want all our storage facilities. That's how I normally do it anyway. It seems the most efficient approach. So will that still block going there? Come on. I need to move that roundabout out a bit. I knew it was big, I just didn't appreciate it was that big. So we might not actually have that much space for other industries anyway. So yeah, get that in, he says. Right, you all want to be that height, and then it should let me forcing the ground up. Turn that off before I forget, because I always forget and always make a mistake with tunnels. Just smooth that out a bit, and then we'll try again. Yeah, it is rather enormous, so put that in. Put that in, just dump it in like that, and then don't need to pause the game. I don't think, we're not worrying too much about money. Just chuck this in here. Nice big flat area. Yeah, I want all this on the same level. Just want a nice flat working area for the detailing more than anything, because the props don't tend to like being on uneven ground, and we do have some props for this actually. And then just smooth that out a bit towards there, making it all nice and flat. Suppose we can have a bit of a downhill there. Yes, I know you haven't got any haven't got enough products yet. It doesn't matter too much. So what we need, I'm not going to put in a warehouse to store unique products, so we've got metals, glass, plastics. Doesn't matter which order, plastic and then metals. So now you can see what I mean by traffic coming in, comes up, drops off into the warehouses, and then can turn around the roundabout and go back out again. And equally, vehicles generated from the warehouse can come out, go around the roundabout, drop off the product and come back around this roundabout. Just makes everything nice and efficient to have all the traffic going in the one direction, rather than having to turn around in the middle of the road and block the road, or create congestion. So everything's nice and efficient. Now what we want is, we'll do some more key work just along this cliff edge here, because this is going to be where our cars are stored, and I've got, especially for this, I've subscribed to some props. I have built a car factory before, but I didn't go into quite so much effort. But this time I do want to actually have some cars, actually lines of brand new cars that have just been produced, make it look a bit more realistic, just go with a bit more detail than I have done in the past. Yeah, I think I'll have a road coming down here on an angle, just, yeah, it's that key is just causing a little bit of an issue. I mean, this road isn't going to be used, it's just more for the look, just to add a little bit of something. And then we're going to paint this whole area concrete, I think. Maybe not all of it, just to there. Now actually, what I'm excited to see, maybe excited a bit of a strong word, but I've had subscribed for quite a while now, is an actual car transporter. We're not going to see that for quite some time, because I did, I was looking just on the workshop a long time ago, actually, when I started out, just looking at the different mods and things, assets, and I came across a car transporter which looks a bit better than the vanilla car transporter, but it did require an extra mod, I forgot what it's called now, to actually make the loading work. I will be in my mods collection, yeah, but I completely forgot what it's called now. But you need to have Advanced Vehicle Options 2, the new version, well, the new version Synth Industries, and something else as well, to make these car transporters spawn, but I'm not sure if they're going to work or not, but we will see. So, animal products, oh, your leather. So I guess I should really put in a, didn't see that in the list, I should put that in there. I want to make sure we've got everything locally nearby. Animal products. I think most of the industry producers have access to this freight rail yard or to the motorway, but obviously it's going to take a bit of time to get from over here all the way to over here. So let's just, oh no, not that one. Animal products, plastics, glass, metals. I've got the warehouses set up, just need to wait for things to arrive. I think what I'll put in on this side is my car parks, just a couple of these for the workers, and then I'll put in a crossing. Don't think I'm going to run a shuttle bus up here. Does it actually say how many workers? Workplace 660. That doesn't seem very many for a huge car factory. I think you would expect a few thousand. Actually, I need to look for Astra. Car. Opel. Vauxhall. Yeah, I'm not searching through all the props. I've But go away. Shoo. Oh, that's not going to stay there all the time, is it? What? Yes, we've got a car factory. Good. Disappear. Electric car factory. Yeah, go. Shoo. Am I going to look through all the props? I'll have a quick scan through because I've subscribed to... What I was trying to say is I've subscribed to some cars. Obviously to try and make this look a little bit more realistic. And I'm pretty sure they downloaded before I loaded the game up, because that's one of the big aspects of this build. Plopping the factory itself is nothing special, but the yeah, we could be here all day, couldn't we? It'd be nice to have a train factory actually. There are a lot of props. Now what I've downloaded or subscribed to is the Vauxhall Astra, which is actually made locally to where I live, so I just thought it'd be good to use that if I can actually find it and if it's actually downloaded and working. Pretty sure I hit subscribe. Right, okay, scratch that. I am going to... What's that? Royal Mail truck. You're Royal. I'm going to see if I can find this car and then I will be back. Okie dokie, so I've fixed all that now. Well, I haven't really fixed it, I just subscribed to the right thing. I'd actually subscribed to the vehicle, the car, rather than the prop, which was in a pack. I was just taking a look at this. This is the car transporter I was talking about since I've been messing around with the little bits. Cars have been generated, and in order to get this to work you do need Trailer Variation Loader. That's the name of the mod. Seeing as I had to go out the game anyway to subscribe to the right thing, so we can press play again and we can start doing what I was doing in the first place, which was Astra. If it's not here this time, Astra GTC, and that's the standard. Hopefully, yeah, they all come in different colours, which is good. Now what happens if I use... Oh, it's not coming up with the option. Oh yes it is. No, they need to be spaced 6. Yeah, like that. So space them like so. And just lines of all the new cars that will come out of the factory. Unfortunately you can't choose what cars are spawned on the car transporter trailer, but I just think it looked a little bit better. That one I just showed you looked a little bit better than the standard in-game one. Marquee. No. Oh. Yeah, pressing the wrong thing. Just try and make those look a little bit more in line with the road. And then we want bike, middle. Auto spacing off, spacing of 1 meter, and then we just want some lines down the middle. We'll have to do these one by one. So basically as the cars come off the production line, they go into this queuing system, and then they put into the car transporters. Now I don't know, actually I should have had a look if there was a car transporter prop, because that would have been good, but I didn't look unfortunately, so might just put some container trailers around for now. Just do these a couple of lines. Probably could have copy and pasted, but because oh no, these are decals, aren't they? And then just another one like that, and then we'll do, I guess we'll do an empty one here. Prop tree anarchy on. Like so, just helps make things look a little bit more realistic. And then I think if we go back to the Astra, we'll have some GTCs, some of the high performance ones. Parameters 6 meters. All these come in more vibrant colours as well, that's good.
Not uncommon to feel like you're being left behind. How can you know if your net worth matches up to the standards set by society? Personally,
yeah,
I like to go for a little
over here in the UK they're known as Vauxhall Astras, but I think elsewhere in the world and on the EU continent they are Opel Astras. I still think they're called Astras, they're just known, Vauxhall is known as Opel for some reason. Just trying to get the spacing right, and then we'll just put in a few more bike mid. Just the line I use, just the standard line from the game. Yeah, just bring these down. Like so. No, like so. Put a bit of fencing round as well shortly, but just want to get this bit in because this is probably one of the main features which kind of sets it out as a car factory, as opposed to any other car sort of factory. Yeah, I think that's enough cars. I think for the rest of the space, because we have got a lot of grey here, we're just going to have to go with some containers, I think. Make things look a bit little less boring. We'll just try and place these as close to the edge as we can. Just adds a little bit of interest to the area. And they would get cars shipped in containers, I guess. So we'll go with that, and then we'll go with stack. We'll go with some stacks. Just make the whole area look a lot more interesting. And then you can see why it was so important to get the area all flat for these different props. Yeah, we could have more of these in, I think. Got a whole variety of different ones, just help mix and match. They do change colour as you're placing them, but I think it just helps to change those. And then we want a reach stacker. We'll have a couple of these in here. Hopefully that will go in between those two. And then contain. Yeah, I've got some of these truck trailers. Again, I think these change colour as you place them, or do they? No, they don't. You have to do that manually. So if I have them placed roughly along that line there, we'll work off that. And then we've got some of the empty ones in here. Just move them around a bit, make them look a bit more, a bit less ordered. That's the sound. That's a different, slightly different red, and that's a different red again. Yeah, a few more empty ones. Like so. I mean, it's still quite what am I looking for? Ruin. No, asphalt decal. Let's just have a look through the decals. Just think, need to break this up a little bit. That looked like tyre marks, perhaps. This is actually, these are actually supposed to be from the coal storage depot, or the coal storage area. And this is supposed to be coal, but I think it just, I think that could pass as tyre marks, I guess. Just helps break up the grey concrete, I think. Otherwise it would just be a bit too much. That one's a bit less able to pass. Yeah, just try and break up that concreteness. I know when you're zoomed out you can't even see the cars, never mind all the decals as well, unless you have the level of detail turned up, which I don't always do, especially if I'm just building. Like now, I just have the level of detail turned down, just so we're not asking too much of the computer. And what about these? This is what I was looking for, this sort of ruined texture. Now I'm probably doing more detailing than I usually do. Well, not really, but I think there was too much concrete there. Just need to break up the surface a little bit. Just make it look a little bit better. It only really matters in the end cinematic and the close-up screenshots, but it all just adds. Doesn't really take it's not a massive amount of effort that I'm going into here, really. I think these are just standard decals as well from the game. Is there anything else that we could use? Yeah, got some of this. Bit of that. And what else? We've got some of this as well. Just adds a little bit of texture without really having to do too much. Because I think it is right that we have this amount of concrete painted on the surface, because you need space to manoeuvre all the vehicles and the cars and whatnot. But yeah, it can look a bit monotonous and boring. So I think we've done enough there to make it look a little bit more interesting. We could probably do with some more containers, I guess. But what we need actually is some fencing. This could be a little bit tricky. I know, we'll go with the Palisade Fencing. Turn off all of the guides for this and just see how close we can get to the edge of the key. Oh, it's behaving itself, it's not doing too bad. It can be quite tricky working with the key sometimes. Shall we go? Oh no, actually, yeah, it's facing the right way. I was just going to say, should we have the pointy bits facing the right direction? But they are facing the right direction, because this is just to stop people falling off, falling off the key. Oh, that's in the way. So is that. Right. Chuck that in there. Again, the fence just helps add a little extra something. And I thought put the angle on. 2 there. Get rid of that, and then 15. Just get rid of a bit of that concrete. And then we'll just move this fence to move the fence. You see, that's where it can be tricky when you start to try and use the move it mod. Right, we'll have to put that in. So I want it to about there, and then I want it to come in like so. Well, that doesn't look too bad. I think what we'll do is a couple more containers. Actually, extra. We'll have a couple more irregularly spaced. It looks like they're pulling in. May as well make use of. No, that's the wrong one. What did I do with that one? Yeah, that one. The GTCs, aren't they? You'd be able to tell because of the different colours. There's a couple parked up here, ready to be put into containers and shipped. Yeah, he's disappearing there. I suppose with it being a car factory, actually, that's cool. Just want to check, police. Industry police. I thought I'd subscribe to the actual police car because these are little Astra police cars, but I guess we could have some of these over here. They've just been produced. Actually, I want to be able to see them somewhere. I think if I get rid of the line of the GTCs, this can be the area where the special production vehicles are parked. Go back to lines. Not that close. 10. And then we'll have some police cars. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually subscribe to the actual Astra police car itself, because I've got the Volvo, which I like. I think I just need to move. Why aren't you moving? Move. Move. What have I turned on? Some sort of snapping. Just make them look a bit more irregularly parked. I think the spacing probably was a bit too much. So yeah, and then what was I saying? I was going to put in some containers as well, wasn't I? Contain. Just to fill out any areas. Yeah, that's alright. And then just a couple more. Like so, don't think it looks too bad. It looks a bit like a car factory now. We've got all our warehouses are now full of stuff, so we've got stuff stored locally ready for production. Just move them in a little bit. Like so. So take a trip into the wild at Dinosaurus. Like that, and then we just need some bit more fencing.
Listen closely.
Bit more fencing.
Sound of refreshment. Pop soda refreshment. Pop soda.
Like so, that can go around the back of it, like there. Can come all the way down to here. Looks like we've got some people walking to work, which is good.
Synthetic Dawn Radio. Soothing synths your mind wander back to the golden era.
We want anarchy on, just so we can get across the road. Put that up there like that. No, like that then. We'll do it with move it, just put that up there, just to finish it off. And then what I need to do is just delete, no, not that one. Delete that. Delete the bit that's going across the road, then we can delete those. And then shed, my favourite prop it seems to be. Like so, put that in there, put a couple of them in, and then it is tall. Again, this is a little tiny detail you can't really see unless you're zoomed right in, but we'll put in some of these barriers. Light. Which are the little red flashing ones there, blocking the pavement. Actually, probably can we? They are little tiny fiddly things to mess around with, but it just helps to add to the realism, the whole look of the area. Turn that around. No. Turn that around. Like so. No, wrong way. Come on. Just there, using that. And then that in there. Like so. What do we do? We'll bring the fence in to about here where the gates are. And then just come in with a bit of concrete. Pavements, pave. Chuck that in there just to make it all nice and neat. Just finishes off the last little bit. Paintbrush, paint that in there, that in there. Looks a bit empty. We can put in an MB, put in one of these. Don't think really want a police car. Actually, Corsa, Opel. We've actually, the prop for the Astra comes with an entire pack of vehicles, so we may as well use them. It's not something that I think to do too much of, but I am slowly starting to do more and more airport light. There is another one of those which isn't so big, but it does generate quite a bit of illumination. Not that one. Where is it? Could have swore I had a different version of that. That one, that's a bit smaller, a bit better. Just have that there to light up the entrance way a bit. And then we'll have some along here as well. Actually, we'll use the line tool so we've got correct spacing. 20 metres, yeah, 20 metres. Should make for some good nighttime shots as well. Hopefully it'll place those. Yes, it has. Good. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how that's looking at possibly a few too many of these. Get rid of every other one, I think. It'll let me select the actual light itself. Yeah, it looks a bit better, I think. Do the same on this side. Yeah, pretty pleased with that. What if you run out of plastics? Animal products, metals, plastics. You've got plastics in here. There's no freight trucks in use. So why aren't you spitting out some plastics? It's got yeah, it's not the kind of building that you can have sat empty, sat doing nothing, because it is costing you money all the time. So I'm not quite sure why that warehouse isn't spitting out any plastics for me. Definitely got all the roads in the right direction, haven't I? Haven't put any stupid one-way roads in or anything. That's annoying. Still producing cars for now, but maybe if I have this on empty, it's not as if it hasn't got enough stuff in. It's just not doing anything. Oh, there we are. 5 trucks have just gone out there now. Put it back on balanced. Let's go over to the oil refinery. We shouldn't be exporting. We're not importing anything. We're making plenty of plastics. 15 tons of plastics coming out of there. Does it say how many tons we need? It doesn't say. It just says plastics. Storage 0, 22 tons. Plastics. Okie dokie. Just before we wrap this episode up, I think what I'll do is I will have a road coming off here, and we can't place a cracker that's not in an industrial area, so we will create one. And that's gonna, oh no, we can't do that. What I was gonna suggest is we actually put a naphtha cracker thingy somewhere, but you can't place them without obviously being in an area, and then it needs a main building, and that's just more expensive. It's like 240 quid a week just for a bit of plastic, when we should really be importing more plastic than we need. I can suppose we could produce a bit more over here. That shouldn't be an issue as such, but I would have kind of hoped that we were producing enough. What's this? So, industrial areas, produce oil, produces something. Petrochemical plant takes oil and use fluid, can gradually produce polymers. Petrochemical plant, plastics. And if that's not enough, I'll just try and chuck some more in. Try and get some plastic production going. Because with the size of the oil refinery we've got, producing plastic shouldn't be an issue. I know it's quite far away, but it is joined up with rail. We can go along here. It's a bit of a convoluted route, but it is all linked up, and it's got a highway connection as well, so getting plastics over here shouldn't really be a major issue, I wouldn't have thought. So there we are, that's the car factory pretty much done. Earning us total value of products, so it's earning us a profit 4,000 a week, I assume that is. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. So there we are, leave you with the cinematic of the finished product. Leave it there for today and say until next time, bye bye.